Alrighty, guys, I'm following another winning day of personal plays on my website yesterday. I'm now 18-3 in my last 21 board member tier package bets on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage. And if you want to see a video breakdown of every single one of my personal bets here today, you can do that right now by becoming a board member on my website. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick timeout and welcome you to my what is this? NBA free pick video here today for Sunday, March 19th, 2023. Happy Sunday to you. Hopefully you're having a great weekend. Hopefully you're not too hungover. It's St. Patty's Day weekend, March Madness. A lot of good stuff going on. I'm sure a lot of you guys are having a great time this weekend. But of course, as always, my name is Brock Page, and I've been dishing out free sports picks right here on YouTube since 2016. I also sell my personal sports bets on patreon.com/BrockPage. Once again, guys, I'm 18-3 in my last 21 board member tier package bets on that site. And not only do board members get access to my board member podcast every day, you also get access to every single personal play of mine, every single package, every single day until April 1st. It's a full access, all-inclusive membership. Now, you may be wondering what the difference is between what I do here on YouTube and what I do on my website. Well, what I do here on YouTube is I'll handicap the entire slate of games in any given sport, side, and total. And what I do on patreon.com/BrockPage is actually share with you which one of these free plays on these videos that I'm actually betting on personally. I currently have over 565 members who are signed up and active on that website right now. And with that, guys, let's go ahead and dive into some free content. We're going to start off with the Nuggets at the Nets, 3:30 p.m. East. Denver's -1.5, totals 228. And even though the Nuggets have struggled recently, they are the best shooting team in the association. They currently lead the league in offensive field goal percentage. They currently have the highest free throw percentage on the road in the game. Nikola Jokic, he leads the team in scoring and averages just about a triple-double. Meanwhile, Michael Porter Jr., he averages 17 points per contest, and he's also drilling 41% of his three balls. Now, they're facing a Brooklyn squad who struggles guarding the three-pointer themselves. As a matter of fact, these guys have one of the higher defensive three-point percentages in the Eastern Conference. And no real surprise here, guys. The Nets are also in the bottom 5 in the NBA in home defensive boards. Now, injury-wise, Bum Simmons is still out for the Nets. When it comes to the total, the Nuggets saw their last two straight stay under the total. Unders against the likes of the Knicks and Pistons. Meanwhile, Brooklyn saw their last three straight at the Barclays Center stay under the total themselves. 7-3 to the under in their last 10 at any location. Give me the Nuggets -1.5, under 228. Next matchup, Suns, Thunder, 3:30 p.m. East. Oklahoma City's -1, totals 235. Now, OKC is scoring more points a game at home than any other team in the NBA besides Sacramento. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander averages a team-high 31 points per contest. He also makes 91% of his free throws. Meanwhile, Josh Giddey scoring over 16 points a game himself. They're taking on a Phoenix team who's 5 games below 500 in their road trips. And aside from ranking in the bottom 10 in road scoring, the Suns also have one of the lower offensive field goal percentages in the West. Now, injury-wise, KD and DeAndre Ayton, they are both out. Landry Shamet is questionable. When it comes to the total, Phoenix went 70% to the over in their last 10. Meanwhile, Oklahoma City went 7-3 to the over in their last 10 themselves. Give me OKC -1, over 235. Next matchup, Hawks, Spurs, 4 o'clock East. Atlanta's -10, totals 243. Now, I definitely hate this number for Atlanta on the road here. For one, Trae Young and Jalen Johnson are both questionable to play, both guys with lower body injuries. And number two, the Hawks play their worst basketball on the road. They're just 16-20 while traveling this year. They're giving up more points a game on the road than most clubs in the East. And in their last 10 meetings with San Antonio, the Hawks are allowing 115 points per contest. Now, the Spurs on the other side, they covered recently against the likes of Memphis, Orlando, and Denver. And believe it or not, these guys are covering in 64% of their home games against Eastern Conference opponents. Keldon Johnson scores a team-high 21 points a game. Meanwhile, Devin Vassell scores 18.5 points per contest himself. And he shoots nearly 40% from three-land. Now, injury-wise, McDermott, Collins, and Bates Diop, they are questionable. Birch, Graham, and Sochan are out. Meanwhile, for the Hawks, once again, Trae Young and Jalen Johnson are both questionable. When it comes to the total, Atlanta saw overs in 6 out of their last 10. Meanwhile, San Antonio went 60% to the over in their last 10 themselves. Give me the Spurs plus 10, over 243. Next game, Heat, Pistons, 6 o'clock Eastern start time. Miami's minus 9.5, totals 217 and a hook. But for a team laying nearly double digits on the road here, Miami certainly had problems on offense. These guys score fewer points a game than any other franchise in the NBA. And no real surprise here, guys. They're the worst shooting team in the Eastern Conference. These guys are averaging only 107 points a night in their travels. Now, they're facing a Detroit squad who covered recently against the likes of the Pacers, Wizards, and the Bulls. And in their last 10 head-to-head meetings with Miami, the Pistons covered the point spread in 80% of those matchups. Actually held Miami to just 106 points a game during that time frame. Jaden Ivey has a bunch of steals on the season and averages 15 points a game. Meanwhile, Marvin Bagley's making 53% of his attempts from the field. Now, injury-wise, Burks, Bogey, and Stewart, they are all out. Isaiah Livers is questionable. Meanwhile, for the Heat, Lowry and Zeller are questionable for them. When it comes to the number, Miami's gone 60% to the under in their road trips. Meanwhile, Detroit went 7-3 to the under in their last 10. Give them the Pistons plus 9.5, under 217 and a hook. Next game, Pels, Rockets, 7 o'clock Eastern start time. New Orleans is minus 4.5, totals 227 and a hook. And as bad as the Pels have been here lately, they've certainly had Houston's number in recent meetings. The Pels are 7-3 straight up in their last 10 games against Houston. They also cover the number in 70% of those matchups. Brandon Ingram, he's scoring 23 points per contest, and he makes nearly 40% of his shots from beyond the arc. Meanwhile, C.J. McCollum shoots it really well from three-land. He also averages 21 points a game. Now they're facing a Rockets team who's tied with San Antonio for the fewest wins in the West. And no real surprise here, guys. Houston's the worst three-point shooting team in the game. Now, Houston saw overs recently against the likes of Chicago, Indy, and Denver. They also allowed over 118 points per contest in their last 10 meetings with the Pels. And as a matter of fact, 60% of those contests, those head-to-head meetings I just mentioned, got over the total. So give me the Pelicans minus 4.5, over 227 and a hook. Next game, Raptors, Bucks, 8 o'clock East. Milwaukee's minus 9, totals 234. Now, I'm not a huge fan of this number for Milwaukee. They failed to cover in 5 out of their last 8. Failures to cover against the likes of the Pacers, Nets, and Wizards. They've also had their hands full with Toronto in recent meetings. They failed to cover in 6 out of their last 10 matchups with the Raptors, and they got held to just 107 points a game. And as far as this season, well, the Bucks have really had problems shooting from the foul line. These guys have a lower free throw percentage than any other team in the NBA except for one. But they're facing a Toronto team who covered in 6 out of their last 9. They currently find themselves in the middle of a 3-game winning streak. When it comes to defensive play, the Raptors are giving up fewer points per contest than most clubs in the East. OG Anunoby leads the franchise in steals and also grabs over 5 rebounds per contest. When it comes to offensive production, Anunoby's scoring over 16.5 points a game. And speaking of scoring, Pascal Siakam, he averages a team-best 24 points a game. When it comes to the injury report, Delano Bantone is questionable with a thumb. Meanwhile, for the Bucks, they have a slew of guys who are banged up right now. Dragic, Crowder, and Thanasis are out. Lopez and Allen are questionable as well. When it comes to the total, Milwaukee saw unders recently against the likes of the Suns, Nets, and Wizards. They also saw 7 out of their last 10 meetings with Toronto stay under the total as well. So if you're into historical trends, plenty of unders to go around. Give me Toronto +9, under 234. Next contest, Clippers, Blazers, 9 o'clock East. The LA Clippers are -3, totals 234.5. Now the Clips got the W in 4 out of their last 5 outings. Victories over the likes of Golden State, New York, and Memphis. Now the Clippers have also really had Portland's number in recent gatherings. Out of their last 10 head-to-head meetings with Portland, the Clippers got the W 9 times and actually held Portland to just 105 points per contest. Now, Paul George has a bunch of steals on the season and also grabs 5 defensive boards a game. Now, George is averaging over 23.5 points per contest offensively. Of course, Kawhi Leonard, he scores 23 points per contest himself. He's drilling 42% of his long balls. Now, they're facing a struggling Portland squad who lost their last 5 straight. They also took the loss in 8 out of their last 10. When it comes to defensive play, the Blazers may have some issues with Kawhi Leonard because they simply can't defend the 3 ball. The Blazers currently have the highest home 3-point percentage on defense in the NBA. When it comes to the injury report, Grant, Winslow, and Badji are out. Little is questionable. Now for the Clippers on the other side, Norm Powell's still inactive. Brandon Boston's a little banged up as well. When it comes to the total, the Clippers saw overs recently against the likes of Golden State, Memphis, and Sacramento. They're also 23-13 of the over in their travels. Now, Portland on the other side, they've had some difficulty slowing down the Clippers in recent meetings. They've allowed 116 points a game in their last 10 contests against LA. The Blazers on the other side, they are a staggering 17-3 to the over against Western Conference opponents at home. Give me the Clippers -3, over 234.5. And with that, guys, we're going to jump into our next and final matchup for the video. It is going to be Magic at the Lakers, 9:30 Eastern tip-off. The LA Lakers are -5.5, totals 230 and a hook. And despite their injuries, the Lakers have covered in 4 out of their last 7. And they do still have a winning record in the Crypt. Now, out of their last 10 meetings with the Magic, the Lakers did get the best of Orlando 7 times. As far as this season's concerned, the Lakers are a top 5 offensive rebounding team. Anthony Davis grabs nearly 13 rebounds a game. He also leads the active roster in points. Meanwhile, Dennis Schroeder and Lonnie Walker, they both average over a dozen points a game respectively. Now they're taking on an Orlando squad who lost 5 out of their last 7. And they have a tough time winning on the road. Out of 39 contests away from Orlando, Magic got the W only 13 times. When it comes to offensive production or lack thereof, the Magic score fewer points a game on the road than any other team in the league except for Miami. Now, injury-wise, Jalen Suggs is questionable for the Magic. LeBron James still out for Los Angeles. When it comes to the scoring, 5 out of LA's last 6 at the Crypt fell under the total. They also went 7-3 the under in their last 10 at any location. Now, the Magic on the other side, they averaged just 105 points per contest in their last 10 meetings with the Lakers. So once again, if you're into historical trends, certainly want to think about that one there. Give me the Lakers -5.5, under 230 and a hook. With that, guys, we're going to jump into our quick pick recap. Give me Denver -1.5, under 228. Oklahoma City -1, over 235. I'm 18-3 in my last 21 board member tier package plays on my website. Give me the Spurs +10, over 243. Give me the Pistons +9.5, under 217 and a hook. Pelicans -4.5, over 227.5. Toronto Raptors +9, under 234. LA Clippers -3, over 234.5. And with my next and final free pick, give me the Lakers -5.5, under 230 and a hook.